Hi you guys, and welcome back to my channel. Mariah Beauty here, and in today's video I'm going to be showing you how to achieve this bulletproof summer sweat oil proof transfer proof beat. I wore this combination of products for the most part. Like, I interchanged like the blush and like the shadow and stuff, but the base routine, the skin prep, the primer prep, the foundation and concealer, I used this on my bestie's wedding, and my makeup lasted from 6 o'clock in the morning on the day of the wedding to 2 o'clock the next day, and my skin looked incredible still. So if you want to see how you could achieve this look, keep on watching. You prep your skin when you want your makeup to last, especially if you have oily skin. I have oily combination skin, so this skin care prep, what I'm going to talk about, is for people who have oily combination skin. If you have dry skin, there's a lot of creators that could speak to that based off of their own experience, but to keep it all short, sweet, and simple, you need a cleanser, a good toner, a serum of a choice. You can use an eye cream. It depends on your preference. I prefer to use an eye cream, especially because of like the heavy makeup, the concealer, all of that good stuff, and the powders, a moisturizer, and of course SPF. So the products that I use are the Laneige Balance Mode Rice Cleanser. I use the Glow Recipe Toner in the morning, the watermelon toner. I use my Danessa Myricks 10 out of 10 Skin Booster Serum. For my eye cream, I use it from In Beauty Project. It's their brightening eye cream. And then for my moisturizers, I use the Laneige Balance Mode. It's a lightweight, oil-free moisturizer. It keeps my skin really nice and hydrated without it being too heavy. And then I use the Water Sun Serum from Skin 1004. So that is my skin prep, my skincare prep. Now, primers and powders matter. If you have oily combination skin, even if you don't and you have dry skin, I'm telling you, powder is your bestie when it comes to helping your makeup last. And I've come across a plethora of setting sprays, but I have my combination of setting sprays that are going to make your makeup last. And I know it because I've tested it. This is my routine that I wore on my best friend's wedding in like literally 30-degree, 35-degree weather, very hot. We were outside taking pictures, everything. Makeup was on from about 6 o'clock in the morning to like 2 o'clock the next day. So I know that this is a bulletproof routine, so stay tuned. I did my brows off cam. My brow routine has not changed within the last like couple years, so really and truly, if you guys really want an updated routine, I could show you. Really wouldn't be updated though, it would just be the same. I have that on my page, so go check that out. The primers that you need in your life, if you have oily combo skin, even if you don't have oily combo skin, I would say you would at least need the Universal Balm, but for sure add this to the game, and it's a game changer. So I always do my brows before I actually end up priming the whole of my face. So I use the Danessa Myricks water powder serum, and I do about 3 drops, 1 on my forehead and 2 on my cheeks, and then I blend that in with my finger, and I'm literally just blending it in the areas where I know I get oily, and then spreading it outwards. So I get the most oily on my forehead and my nose and my cheek area, like around this area, and then a little bit on my chin, and of course on my nose. And it dries right in. It feels like literally nothing. As you guys can see, because my skincare was marinating a little bit, my SPF didn't like move around or come back up. Sometimes that happens if I go right in like right away, but I let my skincare sit in my skin for a minute. Now I'm going in with my Universal Balm. I just scrape some off my finger, and then I put it in those same areas, layering it on top of my T-zone. And again, spreading it outwards. just smooths out and sets up my skin for success. I did have somebody comment on my video, on one of my last videos, asking to show my color correction routine, which right now currently I'm just using the Morphe color corrector in the shade Cinnamon 04. So this is their Wake Up Artist under eye correcting concealer, but I don't use this under my eyes because I don't have super dark circles under my eyes. I take a little bit on the back of my hand or a palette, just depending on how I feel, and I color correct in the areas that I know that I needed the most, which would be a little bit around my jaw, chin area, and my neck. Now, the reason why I color correct is because it helps to neutralize the hyperpigmentation that I got going on. And when I go in with my foundation, it's not gonna have this like gray underlying shadow because the orange will cancel out the bluish, purplish pigments to the hyperpigmentation, therefore neutralizing it and just setting up my skin for further success to look nice and balanced. But for those who do, and you're kind of like wondering, how do I avoid my makeup looking like a mask? I'm sorry, you're gonna have to blend the foundation down the neck. I mean, irregardless of if you have hyperpigmentation or not, everybody should be blending their foundation down. You don't need to go as low, you know what I mean? But if you and if you're tan, like if you do a tan and you're like not blending your foundation down into your neck to like match your tan and everything, like you're gonna look weird. So makeup, you can do whatever you want with your makeup. If you don't want to go past your chin, that's fine, but sometimes you guys look like you're wearing a mask. So to avoid that, I blend everything down and I feel no ways. And my routine also considers transfer onto like my shirts and stuff, and so everything's locked in. Here is going to be the Charlotte Tilbury Airbrush Flawless Blur Concealer. I love this concealer. This is top tier. Besides the Sephora Collection Original Best Skin Ever concealer, this is my fave. It's so good. Full coverage, creamy. Love it. It has a matte finish, but for me, it's not super drying under the eyes because I do prep my eyes, under eyes before. And then the foundation combination, because I do have two shades, unfortunately, is the One Size foundation. I mix medium dark 10 and dark deep 25. I've done a review on this foundation. This foundation is tea. Yes, I've been using it. And these are the two that I mix. So, starting off, we're going to go in with shade... I use 11 Tan as my first initial concealer, and I just love how this concealer looks. And this formula, this is a super thick formula. If you're not into thick makeup, like, it doesn't feel thick, but it is a thicker formula. If you're not into that, this might not be for you, but this is what works for me, and this is what worked for me that day. I'm going to take my deeper shade and I'm going to do 2 pumps of that. That was like a pump and a half. And then I'm going to do 2 pumps of the other shade. I'm just going to use my finger and like mix it on the back of my hand. Till I get the mixture I want. And then I'm going to apply it. Again, this formulation is on the thicker side, but I'm okay with that. Okay, taking my damp sponge and I'm gonna start going in and blending out the foundation. You see how it matches perfectly? Like, mixing those two together is the best combo. I just want to show the area where I put the color corrector. You see how it's like blending in seamlessly? There's no weird underlying cast. That is why we color correct. Before I add any more, I've applied foundation down my neck. You can see this area I did not, but the color corrector is still there. And you can see, like, if you rewind the video and look at the before, you can see the difference between the hyperpigmentation, putting the color corrector, and then balancing it out, and then applying the foundation on top, and everything just meshing together beautifully. The same sponge, and I'm gonna start blending out the concealer that's been sitting for a bit. And we're gonna go ahead and blend that out. Okay, so now that we're here, we did our primer, we did our color corrector, we did our foundation and concealer. Our base is pretty much done with those ground steps, those ground level steps of like balancing out the skin. Now we're gonna bring back in depth color with contour, bronzer, blush. And I'm doing like a pinky look today. So I'm gonna show you the blush that I'm using. It's gonna be different. So that can be, obviously that's interchangeable, but the most important things were the primers, the color correcting, the skin prep, and then the base of what I use to know that it's lasting. And then the other important factors would be the powders that I'm going to show you, and then how I finish off the look with the setting sprays. We all know and love her. This is my curve case. Trust me, I use this. A little bit goes a long way, but I've been obsessed with this. I've been grabbing this. Like, as you can see, I really love the bronzer contour side. So I'm using I use these two shades to contour and these two shades to bronze up my skin. So that's Blend and Snatch and Habituation for my contour. And I go in and I start to contour and sculpt back my face. Now I'm using another Morphe brush. I use a lot of Morphe brushes. Use brushes of your choice. But this brush specifically is a cream and liquid bronzer brush. And it's slightly slanted and it picks up the product really nicely. So I'm taking Shade and Laid and Chocolate Charm, and I'm going to blend the two together. Blend it on the back of my hand to warm it up. And then apply it to, I do the tops of my cheeks and my forehead because I no longer contour my forehead, I bronze my forehead. So I'm gonna go in and I'm gonna put a little bit of the lighter concealer in the shade 8 in my inner corner. And then I do wanna wear like pink blush today. So I'm taking, this is my Give Me Glow DC3 blush. Specifically, this brush is for like cream blush. I'm taking this pink blush from the palette. And again, back of my hand, this is a hot pink blush. I think this is my first time diving into this color. I've used every other color but this pink. And I'm going to apply that. And I'm okay with it being a lot because I'm going to blend it out. And then the blush that I'm using is pink. So we're really going to diffuse and blend this out. And then I'm going to be going in with my concealer after as well. And I'm going to take my Sephora Collection Powder Puff. And I'm going to blend out my concealer and blend it into the blush. Like that. I'm going to take my One Size. This is the translucent. I love all of One Size powders. And I'm going to start setting my face. This is where the powders are coming in now. So I'm going to go in with a fluffy brush first. Looking up, setting on my under eye. Setting under my eye with a brush. Going in with the same powder puff. Again, patting off the extra on the back of my hand. And now I'm going in with setting my face. Now, I'm so sorry you cannot get your hands on this anymore. This is the original MAC Studio Fix powder. I went ham when I found out they were discontinuing it, and I bought a bunch of backups. So this is the original formula. You cannot use this one specifically. However, the new MAC formula will suffice. You can buy that one. And it does work. It does last on the skin. And eventually, I will have to wear just that one. because I will run out of my stock, my back stock. So just FYI, another really good powder foundation you can use is the Sephora collection one and high-glam. I'm gonna be so for real with you. Those are my top powder foundation picks as options if you are looking for a powder foundation. I'm gonna reinforce everything. So I'm gonna reinforce my contour with my Sleek Contour Cosmetics Shade Dark and just lightly reinforce where I contoured. This is my favorite bronzer and it makes me upset because it's obviously coming to an end. This is the Colored Rain Cinnabay bronzer. You cannot get your hands on this, but this is my bronzer that I'm using. This is the bronzer that I used on the wedding day. It's my fave, my absolute fave. So we are gonna use it today. We're gonna bust it out. The brand itself has closed down, so you cannot get your hands on this bronzer. I do have a plethora of other bronzers that I do love, but again, like I said, this is clearly my fave that I've hit pan on. So yeah, we're just gonna bronze up again in the same exact areas that we bronzed up our face with the cream. We're just reinforcing it. And then I also now go in on my nose. I'm just reinforcing my inner corner a little bit more with that brightness. We're gonna go in with the highlighter from the palette. And this is the blush brush from Morphe, the Butter palette, but I'm using it to highlight, and that highlight is gorge. And we're applying that right on top of where I just applied the blush. Okay, so my base makeup is done, you guys. I'm gonna show you what I do. I'm not gonna show you my eyes because I'm in a little bit of a rush. I need to go. I'm not even doing the look that I really wanted to do, so I'm gonna do it really quickly and come back and show you. But the first spray that I use is Fix Plus always. Always. This melts everything together, melts all my powders and everything. Then I'm gonna come back and show you the second spray and the final spray to seal like they're basically two sealant sprays, but I use them both because they're heavy hitters, and that is my base routine. You can interchange your bronzer of choice, contour of choice, blushes of choice, whatever, but essentially, like I said, the staple is your skin prep, your primer prep, your actual foundation. The foundation and concealers I highly recommend if you don't have the one size foundation or the Charlotte concealer and you have oily or oily combination skin, to check those out because they're tea and it's bulletproof. But I also know my routine with these primers and sprays and powders also work because I use it with other foundations and concealers as well. But this was just specifically the routine that I used on my bestie's wedding day. So now we're going to drench our face in Fix Plus. It nuded out the color even more, so it has that slight pinky feel without being too pink because I have so much pink going on here. And then I always do this for my liner, which I need a new one. This is my hot chocolate lip gloss from Fenty, and I always use that on the outskirts of my lip liner. So there's that. That's all. Now we're gonna go in with the Danessa Myricks spray. This is the Danessa Myricks Yummy Skin Liquid Blurring Balm. So it's basically the liquid sister to this, which is what we put on our face at the very beginning. So we're gonna shake, 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 shake. Shake it up real good. And we're gonna spray it everywhere. That in combination with my one size spray, liquid gold. Now we're going to take our fan and dry it down. Then I take my powder brush without adding anything and I press it in. This just further locks in. And now, this is my tried and true. Before I used Danessa, I used my one size, and my one size honestly held it down too. But Danessa, adding that to the mix, just like, I don't know, just turned it up to a different level. So now this is my final sealant spray. I lock and complete everything with my one size Until Dawn. So we're gonna give this a good shake. This is the limited edition jumbo bottle. And we're spraying our face. The completed look. I just quickly did my hair, how I'm gonna wear it, but I would put like my jewelry on and everything, but I just wanted to finish off the look here. I really hope you guys learned something new. If you have any questions, comments, or anything like that, please let me know and I will answer them as soon as I possibly can. I touched the color corrector in this video, so for the subscriber who was asking for that, hope this helps. If you have any more questions, just let me know in the comments and I'll be more than happy to help and answer. And then for those who wanted to know what my routine was and the products in terms of like what really helps with the longevity of my base on my bestie's wedding day, that's what I used. I hope you guys enjoyed. Don't mind me, I have makeup on my hand, but I hope you guys enjoyed this tutorial and I'll see you guys in the next one very soon. Bye, loves.